welcome to the diaries. Well, there's been a little change of plan. I was going to take us all out to the Railroad Museum out in Scottsdale. They have a museum, they have a train ride, they have, there's a carousel out there, which you kind of want to see. There's the Model Railroad Museum and all like that, or display rather. But the museum part is open from October to May. So I thought I'm going to put it off until October so we can see the whole thing and can view the whole thing. So that kind of got things a little bit all moved up. Now, let me tell you something else. As you know, on Saturdays I work with my kids at the bowling center. I coach them. Well, today, when I went into coach, all of a sudden we had gone from like 14, somewhere between 14 and 16 juniors to 27 or 28 of them. Just all of a sudden, a whole bunch of kids. So we had to kind of change the size of our teams from 2 players to 3 players, and consequently it takes a little longer to bowl. And boy, howdy do they wear me out. So, yeah, so I was going to go today to the Railroad Museum, but after I was done with the juniors, I thought, I think I'll wait until October when I've got these guys a little bit more zeroed in. This was kind of like the first day, so we were, late getting started, late getting done. It's late in the afternoon, and I don't want to put off the diaries any longer than is necessary. These things are already coming out pretty slowly, so for my massive audience of what I have now, 59, I don't know, wavers between 57 and 59 subscribers. So hopefully someday that'll go up. In any case, so since we're not doing that, what are we going to do? Well, I have a new plan on how I'm going to do the fountain on the porch finally. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that shelving that's got the cabinet that looks like the ship's cabinet, that's got all the greenery on top and a couple of tikis. I'm going to put the fountain up there. I'm going to keep the tikis up there, but I'm going to make basically a long flume type of a fountain. So the water will run down one part of the flume, pour to the next part of the flume, and so forth down into the catch basin. And I can run that down the whole length, and it'll actually, it will look cool because it will be, it'll be the whole thing will be part of that fountain with the overgrowth and the tikis behind it. I think it'll look really neat, and it will be a little bit louder. And since I got the heavier duty pump, it's going to put more water through it. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. I've got most of what I need to build that. There's a few minor things that I think I need, but we may get into a little bit of that. We had a film shoot last week, and it was awesome. It took the least amount of time of any shoot, so I figured it was only going to be like, 30-second to a 1-minute scene. It turned out to be about a 3-minute scene, and it only took us, somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 minutes to an hour to film it with everybody getting their lines right and the scene looking good and all like that. And the finished product looks pretty amazing because, matter of fact, I'll show you a little bit of the clip. What you're going to be seeing is it looks like we're all standing out there out in the forest. It looks like this. Okay, everybody stay close together so the book can take us all. Don't get separated. We'll get ourselves organized when we get out there. Well, the truth of the matter is that was filmed right out in front of Darkslade Manor on the lawn with a green screen set up like this. Okay, everybody stay close together so the book can take us all. Don't get separated. We'll get ourselves organized when we get out there. So the two of them put together, man, that came out looking pretty darn realistic. Very, very cool. And I am somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I ought to just film all those scenes outside. But we live in Arizona. Outside is usually a pretty dangerous place to be because you could burst into flames at any moment. So if the weather holds out, I think in our next shoot, and we're supposed to go to this fellowship hall, I may actually have us go outside of the fellowship hall in the back area there, set up a green screen, and film outside because it looks so good, and the sound quality was better too. Might do that, or I might just continue shooting inside using what we have there, because it didn't come out bad. I mean, it came out fine, but boy, that outdoor shoot really looks amazing and sounds good too. So we'll see what'll happen with that. And there's some other things that are going to happen on this episode. So, without any further ado, I'm wearing my yellow pie shirt today, by the way. Let's get going! Tonight is kind of a beef stew kind of night, and you haven't had beef stew in a very long time, and I wanted to make it. Now, I do not, and that's why, I got my hair pulled back and everything, because I'm going to cook something. Now, I like beef stew, love it. What I don't like is carrots. Never have liked carrots. I used to like raw carrots, because I used to be able to chew them. But with my tooth problem, I can't really chew carrots that well. So, but cooked carrots, they taste bad, they smell bad, they're a lousy texture. I just don't like them. That's my personal feeling, by the way. You may love carrots, I don't know. So when I make beef stew, I don't put carrots in it. I do put beef, and I put potatoes, and I put in corn, and sometimes I'll put in broccoli. But I will not put in a single carrot. It ain't happening. And also, to be honest, when it comes to making beef stew, I don't do a do-it-yourself beef stew. I use a beef stew package. What I do, which is a little unique, I suppose, is when I coat my stew beef, I coat it with a mixture of flour and Cajun seasoning and garlic instead of salt and pepper. Because I just think it gives it more of a full body to the flavor. Because generally when you use a package, one package of beef stew tastes like any other package of beef stew. So you have to make your changes to make it, give it that personal touch where you can. In this case, I do it when I'm putting the flour to my beef cubes. I have 2 packages. I'm making a lot. I'm making a lot because I want to have leftovers so I can have it again and again for a while, because I love me some beef stew. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Now I'd show you, but making beef stew is like anybody making beef stew. It's not really all that exciting to look at. So I just thought I'd tell you about it. I've heard many times, especially from younger bowlers, they say, gosh, you're so lucky you get to work and go behind the machines at the bowling center and all like that. Let me tell you about how lucky that is. That's about as lucky as being the person who trims other people's armpits. It is not a happy-go-lucky, flingy-flappy, ha-ha, I get to work behind the machines job. To someone who's never been back there, it's probably pretty interesting and pretty exciting. But I've been looking at the back of these machines for about 35 years now. And you know what? They're not interesting anymore. It's just machinery. And whereas I do enjoy working on the machines, I do like my job, don't get me wrong, it's not something that you aspire to, really, I would think. I mean, it was not my plan in my life to wind up working behind bowling machines. But it seems every time I went on to something else, I worked in aerospace engineering, I worked in the music industry, I have worked for the San Mateo County Office of Education in California. I have been a teacher. I still am a teacher. All of these things. I've done dozens of things. And for some reason, I keep winding up back behind bowling machines. That's not a career move. That's kind of like the place they put you because you're in the way. So anyway, even though it is not the most exciting thing in the world, and I would not say, boy, you know what? When you grow up, you should become a bowling center mechanic. Because, no, I wouldn't say that to you. But it is a little interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you behind the scenes at the other bowling center. I have 2, I'm going to take you to the other one. And I happen to know that I have to change out a pin elevator belt, which is kind of it's a complicated thing, and it's kind of a big deal. But I'm going to show you how that's actually done. Pin elevator is what takes the pins up to the distributor, and the distributor sets it in the cups, and the cups put it down the lanes. So I'm going to show you exactly what is involved in changing out a pin elevator belt. Try to control your excitement. I've been waiting for an hour to get this drink. It'll take forever here. I don't even know why I work here.
I don't know why you work here either.
Look at this! Look at this! This Okefenokee swamp on top of my soda cup. My God! Thank you. I'm sitting here at work. This is the other bowling center, and I generally don't give out the names of the places because it's really not necessary. So anyway, here's what's going on. I have 2 lanes I have to work on tonight. Lane 15 and lane 17. There's 36 lanes in this house. When I came in tonight, only 2 lanes were being used. Lane 15 and lane 17. So I'm stuck right now because I can't work on either one of them until the bowlers are done. So, it's just about time to get to work on those machines, so I guess we'll go do that. We have to change the pinwheel belt on this. Now the pinwheel is actually called the pin elevator. And what happens is the pins go into the back of the machine. They get onto this big wheel. The wheel has a cup and a cleat, and it holds the pin in place. And then the pin goes around this big wheel up to the top, or goes out to the distributor. Now the belt runs the big wheel. Now on old machines, anything prior to the 8290, these are the XLs here, you basically had to pull the whole distributor off, the back end out practically, to be able to get to that pinwheel belt. Well, with these machines, it's a little bit easier. Not a ton easier, but a little bit easier. And I'm going to show you all about that right now. Okay, here's the belt. It stopped moving. I'm going to turn this around, and you can see how it's all breaking apart. That is not going to last too terribly much longer. Okay, so part 1 is we have to take this step off. This is not a manufactured step for these things. This is a step that was made by somebody who worked here ages ago. So we have to pull the step off because we have to be able to open part of the back end where this will go. Now you see there's another part here, and this one is held in with bolts. This is what we call really crappy design, but we have to deal with it. Alright, to get these out, see these are sunk in here pretty deep, and they are exactly the width of the bolt itself. So we can't get can't get anything in there to grab onto it. So what we have to do is come into the back here. But if I try to loosen it from the back, the whole belt rotates. So what we do is we take this screwdriver, we kind of jam it in here just to tighten that area up, and then the bolt will come out. Oops. Just like so. And then, there. Now that these are exposed, I can use these to open the back end. Okay, we have to take this cover off. It's held on by 6 bolts. One down here, one here, one here, one here, and then one up here, and one over here. Fortunately, they are hard bolted in and not require an F on the other side.
Wait a second.
except for this one, which made a liar out of me. And that one. I knew that. So I gotta go get a 1/2 inch opening wrench for that. Now we should be able to. This is really dirty. Holy smoke.
Pin jam 35. Pin jam 35.
Oh, I'm not busy enough. They want me to do something else. Okay, come right back in a sec. Okay. Next we need the pinwheel belt. We have to go get a pinwheel belt. Got one! Right here. And we have to take the old pinwheel belt off at the same time as putting the new pinwheel belt on. So we're going to carefully place this here. It's a good spot. And you know what? I think I'm going to kind of dust this off before I work on it because I'm going to be getting dirty enough without this gross. Okay, before we can take the belt off, we have to release the pressure on it. And this here is called the tensioner. And the tensioner puts tension. That's why this job is so tense, because we have actual devices that make it tense. We're going to move this off. And this is not easy, because this thing is spring-loaded. Just going to get the belt off the wheel. There we go.
Can you turn off the screen on 15?
Belt is off, and it doesn't look any better. In case you're wondering, I'm using a cheap tripod, and it is really horrible, but it's doing the job today. Okay, so we've got the belt. Pull it off, like so. Okay, now it's hanging down here. Now I'll show you how we get it off of this big. Okay, if you look right here, you see that this kind of looks like a hinge, but it's bolted in, and there's one on both ends. So what I have to do is take the bolt out on both of these, and then pop this open just enough where I can pull the belt out, which is stuck on the wrong side. Anyway, so I can pull the belt out and put the new belt in its place. So that's what we're going to do now. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to pull this open just enough to get the belt out, because the whole distributor assembly is still connected to this part of the frame, so we can't move it too far. So we're going to just kind of pop it a little bit. Alright, that's half the belt out. Now we're going to put half of the new belt in. There. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And we take our bolt that we took out a minute ago. Look at that, it went right in. Alright. Now we'll go do the other side. And down here where you can see. But trust me, I'm tightening it down. It's getting tighter every minute. Maybe not. Now it is. Okay, so now that we have the belt, see, now you're kind of flip-flopping. We have to put it into the V-slot of the pinwheel, and then it has to go around the tension. So first thing is getting it into the V-slot, which is not easy on this one because the edge of this thing is right up against the side. So I have to get my crowbar. Kind of move this out a bit. So I can get the belt in there. There we go. Make sure that it's going in the V slot underneath here. This is where it usually comes off. I can do it right now. There we go. Okay, now we have to put it around the pulley and around the pulley on the motor, and then under the tension. This needs to come over the top of the wheel. We've got it pretty much all the way through. So if we turn the machine on, it should rotate this direction, and consequently, it should put the belt the rest of the way on. So let's find out. This will be an exciting moment. Oh, look at that, just like downtown. And you see the wheel is turning. Tensioner is not slammed up against the wheel anymore. So this has been a success. And now all I have to do, I'm sweating. It's hot back here. Just put the back on, put the step back on, and we're done. Rolling nice and smooth on a nice new belt. And I'm kind of frazzled right at the moment. So let's go back in the shop. Cool off. Got air conditioning in there. All right, that is done. And now it's time to sit back, relax a little bit. I can listen to these really boring sports dudes who talk like they're on Quaaludes or something.
There's real excitement coming up here. We're going to have a guy talk to you for a while. Then later we're going to have another guy talk about the same thing, only with a different tone of voice. It ought to be thrilling. Brought to you by a bunch of beer. Drink beer, be someone. Drink 2 beers and be someone else.
So anyway, wow, it's almost 8 o'clock in the evening, and that means it's about dinner time, so I'll go to the snack bar and order something. I get a big discount, and I don't have to pay for it right now. I pay for it when I get paid. What the heck am I listening to? So I'm going to do that, and then like in the last hour, I'm going to put my laptop up here and work a little bit on the script, because I'm just going to be catching calls to the end of the night. It's not busy tonight, so it's not like, I have to rush around a lot. So that's what's going to happen. Now that we're done with that, let's go back home to the old homestead and do something or see something or smell something or whatever there. Okay, I'm out here on the Adventureland porch, and we're looking at this area right here. This is what I was referring to. There's a bench right there. You really can't see it. I mean, this right here. This is the cabinet, which looks the part. Oh, there's all the pieces too. So what I'm thinking is taking the basin, taking the basin and putting it down at this end, and then have the fountain run from here on down, which means this stuff would have to get all moved off temporarily. Put up the new, or the basin, can kind of start to theme out around that, and then have the, make sure nothing's living in it. Have these come down from like over here, so it'd be like 1 or 2 of them. Not a large quantity. Probably the 2 largest ones. One of these I have drilled out already. Oh, it's this one. The little one. So let's experiment a little with that and see what we get. I have a couple of pieces of this smaller stuff, which I've been using to anchor it down. So I'm thinking, if I cut these down to make little X's like this, I should be able to make 3 or 4 of them. I can put the chutes through this, have them run right down here into the basin. That's the idea. Now, can it be done? That's the question. This is the one that's got the hole in it. The hose and so I can run this from here to here and here to here. So let's try that. Means I gotta get out the stuff. I cut my thumb. Be careful when you use sharp things. Remember, the bent finger of truth says, don't cut your thumb. Okay, so what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, put them on top like this, wrap this end with twine, set this here and put a higher one behind it. And that will be my sluice. Right, well, I have, oh, I forgot to cut the ends off. Well, anyway, this part, which will sit here, this will be up here. And I have one more of these that I need to make, which will go back here. And then it'll kind of disappear into this plant, and the hose comes in from here. And that will be it. And that should be pretty cool. But it is no longer summertime, no longer summertime in AZ. It is fall, and it is about almost 6 o'clock, and it's just getting too dark to work out here. So that's as far as I'm going to get on that today. Well, that's going to do it for this particular episode. Sorry it was so long in coming. It really was longer in coming than I was hoping. And it was not all that exciting. So there was 2 strikes against it right from the get-go. But I don't know, you might have found the bowling center stuff kind of cool. And we are working on the fountain again, keeping the Adventureland porch alive. So on the next episode, I'm going to finish that fountain out. And we'll get to see how that looks like. Also, I have a film shoot coming up next Saturday. May have a music thing doing on Sunday. If not, it'll be on the following Saturday. So that should be on the next episode. We are now coming into, for those of you who have followed Darkslade Diaries for a long time, since we started, which was back in April of last year, 2016. We're coming up to my favorite part of the year, October, November, December. Today is October 1st. And so if you remember from those episodes, a lot more things happen during that time of the year, because it's my favorite time of the year. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Who could not like those 3 months? It's also fall, which means that the temperature goes from 187 degrees all the way down to about 106. So it's a lot cooler, brisk here and everything that time of year. We have, of course, I'll be doing the some kind of a Thanksgiving dinner thingy for some of my cast. We do decorating for the holidays, for Christmas. Got some decorating going on for Halloween. The massive quantity of people who come to give out candy. And then, of course, there's zoo lights, which we'll probably do again this year. I'll do a little different version of that. And other types of activities like that will be going on. So there's lots of things that are coming up. Next episode mostly will be what I mentioned at the beginning. So, did I scare you? That was my jump scare for this particular thing, because we're coming to Halloween, so we have to have jump scares, I guess. So anyway, hopefully we will see you in the next episode. In the meantime, you guys have yourselves a great week. End of line. Still hurt that thumb.